everyone. This is Jacqui Cooper with JCooperTravels talk show, and I want to welcome everyone to this episode. I have a very special guest on. I'll introduce her in a quick second. For those that are new to JCooperTravels, I just want to share a little bit about my background and also what the focus of JCooperTravels is all about. I actually am an attorney, but I'm also an entrepreneur as well as a teacher. And I love to travel, and I started J Cooper Travel so I could share all about my adventures around the globe. And, as many of you know, COVID kind of happened and it still is happening. And so I realized that it's more about how do we travel in life and how are we treating each other, both personally as well as career-wise, as well as, other areas that impact our life, fitness and everything else. So I love talking to people, and I have a very large network. It's constantly growing. And I realize that the stories of the individuals that I've been meeting should be shared. So J Cooper Travels is all about the stories and the adventures of both myself as well as others. And so today I have Justy on, and I've met Justy through LinkedIn and other social media networks. And she has a remarkable life story herself. She happens to be right now in San Francisco. And I'm going to let Justy introduce herself for a quick second, and then I'm going to be asking her a whole series of questions because she has a wealth of knowledge that I think everyone should enjoy and take part of. So how are you doing today, Justy?
Oh, I'm doing great, Jackie. It's great to see you.
Yeah, same. So why don't you go ahead and introduce what you're currently doing, and definitely share with everyone who's listening how they can reach out to you. And for those of you that don't have paper and pen, don't worry. The contact information will be in the blog below. So you can just come back to this episode and reach out to Justy so she can help you. So Justy, tell us a little bit about what you're doing and how you're helping people.
Okay, great. Well, I've been a coach mainly to women for many years. And my most recent approach is as a caffeine freedom coach, which, as far as I know, I'm the only caffeine freedom coach out there, at least that I've been able to uncover. So it's easy to find me if you Google that. And, that came about from me needing to get off not just coffee, but really all forms of caffeine myself. And then being pleasantly surprised at what a boon that is for my wellness and my life.
So what's your website or what's your email so that people can actually reach out to you?
Sure. I don't have a regular website, so I'm kind of more direct than that. People can email me at caffeinefreedomcoach@gmail.com, caffeinefreedomcoach@gmail.com. You can also find me on Instagram under my name, Justy Renson, and same thing on Facebook, Justy Renson. And same thing on LinkedIn, Justy Renson. So I'm pretty easy to track down. And I don't think there are any other Justy Rensons out there either.
So I know that you've also done a lot of traveling and you've, explored a lot of locations. But what made you decide to become a caffeine freedom coach? What really triggered it?
Well, it actually was when I was in Normandy that I was drinking too much strong coffee, and I lived there for 3 months in like a medieval house in Normandy. I was house sitting and cat sitting. And I found myself drinking a lot of strong coffee, and it was the winter and I was trying to stay warm and keep my spirits up because it was kind of dark. And it attacked my gut yet again. And it was something that I had had before. Then I had stopped the coffee and then I'd gone back. You know how all that goes. And I was like, oh no, this is scary. It felt like I was getting an ulcer or colon cancer or something. It just wasn't a regular tummy ache. So I just knew the jig was up and it was time for me to get off coffee. And then I met some people in a support group who said, there's actually people who are just getting off all caffeine, not just coffee. And I realized that that was a good idea for me, because if I have even just a little bit of green tea, eventually that bit of that drug in my system will lead me back to having amounts of, coffee, maybe diet soda, but mainly coffee. They're really damaging for me. So I just took the plunge, and I actually weaned myself gradually in 2018, very, very gradually, so that I wouldn't have terrible migraines and, uh, you know, digestive problems and exhaustion and all that. And it worked. And I decided to keep it going. And so it's been awesome.
So, how many things is caffeine in for our foods or our drinks?
Probably more than it used to be back in the day. People used to think of having either coffee or tea or maybe Coke, um, and then chocolate. A lot of times people don't think about caffeine being in chocolate, but I was a big chocoholic, and now I kind of know why. It wasn't just the sweetness, it was that combination, that caffeine, that drug that gave me that little lift. So of course it's in those things, and of course it's in green tea. There's plenty of caffeine in green tea as well as black tea and white tea. And it's in many of the sodas and diet sodas and a lot of the energy shots, the Rockstar and, those type of drinks, Red Bull, that are really popular, and pre-workout drinks, and many foods are now having them. They're even infused in drinks that don't sound caffeinated, like at Starbucks. There's a pink drink that's like a refresher that you wouldn't think of it. But and then it's in many foods, many snack items, many energy bars, many supplements. You're going to find green tea in many health supplements. So I just forego them because I personally don't want to set up that craving for caffeine again. But it's a good question, Jackie, because a lot of times when I'm working with people, they don't realize and they didn't read the label. And then they find themselves craving coffee again, because it really can have that effect.
Yeah. So, when someone comes to you as a client, how do you help them? What's the process? How can you what would they expect?
Well, first, I really try to get tuned into where they're at now and what their why they want to get off caffeine. Why are they coming to me in the first place? Or why do they think they want to get off caffeine, but are maybe not quite ready to commit yet, So we try to really unpack where they're at, how much exactly they're using, all the different sources, all the different amounts, how often, how long they've been using it, a whole history, really, a caffeine history. And their why is very, very important, of why they want to get off it, and their mindset around that. And are they willing to really, like, if not today, to move towards taking a plunge of living caffeine free and finding other solutions, being committed to finding other solutions. So once we get to their why and where they're at, then they will decide whether they want to go cold turkey or they want to wean. And if they want to wean, it could be slow, medium, or fast. We'll make a specific weaning plan and what form of caffeine they're going to use for that, and how that'll work with, like, trying to break their habits, change their habits. And then just a lot of, weekly support for the emotional things that come up, because when you're letting go of something that you're addicted to, emotional stuff comes up that you used to be tamping down with your fix, right? So we deal with the emotional stuff, we deal with the mind, all the mind games that the brain is telling us about why we have to have this, why we need it. So we unravel that, and as the weeks go by, develop new habits, a new lifestyle, long-term sustainability. And then after a few months that they're really solidly off, perspectives start to change, and we can go into phase 2, which is creating a whole new caffeine-free life. Sometimes they find they want to move to a new place, quit that job that's causing them so much stress. Maybe their relationship needs something that they weren't paying attention to. So it's creating a whole new caffeine-free life. But there's, we do one-on-one talking coaching, and I also incorporate like some really deep meditation into that, and some group support too.
That's great. That's great. So why don't you go ahead and mention again your email so people can reach out to you?
Sure. Thanks, Jackie. You're so organized. So I'm Justy Renson, and my email is caffeinefreedomcoach@gmail.com.
So I always liked on the episodes to talk about one tip, one place as a takeaway for those that are listening. So do you want to talk about the place first, or do you want to talk about the tip first?
I'll talk about the place first and then the tip.
Okay, great. So where I know that you're in the San Francisco area, which I love because I was there during law school, but where are you suggesting that people kind of go and discover?
Okay, well, three favorite places hopped into my mind. And I will say, if you love the coastline, if you are attracted to the ocean and the landscape and the coastline, then you should go to Marin Headlands, which is just over the Golden Gate Bridge from San Francisco. And you can even get there by a bus, believe it or not. But of course, a lot of people will grab a Lyft or an Uber. But it's just, they're stunning cliffs. That's what the headlands are, and with a beautiful beach below. And it's just bring a picnic and hang out there any time of year.
So you said that there were three places. What were the other two?
Oh, okay. I'll tell you the other two. I'm also talking about the water again. Is Angel Island is a really cool outing to do. There's a ferry that goes from, I believe it goes from San Francisco, or does it go from Tiburon? I think maybe you have to go to Tiburon first, but these ferries are really fun. You take a ferry to Angel Island. It's not a long ferry at all. And again, it's a great place to bring a picnic and sit on the beach, because there's just a nice sandy beach there, and you can, look out and look at the Golden Gate Bridge. And there's a lot of nature there, but there's also like trails to walk around and some old ruins to look at. So it's just a really fun, easy, inexpensive outing out of San Francisco to go to Angel Island. So I recommend that for a little day trip.
That sounds like fun.
And
So go ahead.
you
Sorry.
want the third?
Yeah.
The third is even easier if you're in town. Go to the Japanese tea garden, which is inside Golden Gate Park, sort of at the east end of Golden Gate Park. And I was kidding with Jackie before, why am I the Caffeine Freedom Coach telling people to go to the tea garden? And actually, they don't even have any caffeine-free tea there. It's all different kinds of green tea, but you don't have to drink the tea. I had a fantastic day there because the gardens are just stunning. And there's all, walkways, and there's water to see. It's like manicured, and just really a lovely little mini retreat in the city.
That's
And
nice.
yeah, so I recommend that too.
All beautiful places. Definitely beautiful places. So what's the tip that you would recommend for people?
Well, I have a little protocol that I give people with several different techniques and products that I recommend that they check out to support their detox. Or your detox, if whoever's listening, withdrawing, tapering, detoxing, starting to feel good again. And so my favorite one is this product that's pretty new to me, just in the last few months. And it's made with redox signaling molecules. And it's actually a drink that's very easy to drink. It just tastes like salty water. Doesn't have any caffeine in it. But it has these molecules that have been isolated that we lose out of our bodies that help us to heal. And so to replace those molecules that we have less and less of ever since puberty. And so it's just fantastic for detox. It's fantastic for cellular health. And because caffeine affects every system of our body, like a lot of different cells are going to be recovering when we get off it. From our brain to our stomach to our cardiovascular, even your muscles. I mean, it's amazing what is going to be healing. So I recommend the redox for that.
That sounds good. That sounds good. So go ahead and mention one more time your email so people can reach back out to you.
Sure. Thank you. Caffeine Freedom Coach at gmail.com.
All right. So everyone, definitely check out the various places that Justy has mentioned. It's definitely, I love San Francisco, and I loved exploring, both sides of the water. So it definitely is a lot of fun to go and see the coastline as well as the hideaways within the city itself. And, again, everyone, the contact information for Justy will be in the blog below. I'll also have my favorite links as well. But definitely like and subscribe so you can stay tuned to the next episode. And thank you so much, Justy, for hopping on. I look forward to hearing more about your adventures because I know you'll be traveling soon as well.
Thanks, Jackie.
Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.